The appropriation bill for the remainder of 2019 was presented to the Parliament by Minister of Finance Mangala Samaraweera today. The much-anticipated bill is based on the government's Enterprise Sri Lanka concessionary loan scheme and themed as empowering the people, nurturing the poor.
The beneficiaries of a crony capitalist system that thrived as a kleptocracy, which enriched those connected to the previous regime. They benefited from inflated government contracts, the cost of which are still being paid off today. Some of these oligarchs yearn for the return of a dictatorship. I've even heard some of them asking for a Hitler again, which funnels so much wealth into their companies and private accounts. This is not the private sector that we want to see as the engine of economic growth. We are creating a new breed of private enterprise where success through merit and the market operates on a rules-based level playing field. In last year's budget, I presented a program of economic liberalization buttressed by a robust safety net and state intervention to address market failures and ensure social justice. We will continue this framework and strengthen its key elements in this year as well.
The Finance Minister went on to point out that the acceleration of exports and other services of foreign income are crucial to sustainable economic growth and debt service capability.
In the 2018 budget, we announced the launch of the Export Market Access Scheme and the National Export Strategy. Support will continue this year with 400 million allocated for the Export Market Access Program and rupees 250 million will be allocated to the National Export Strategy. The government is committed to the strategy of a network of trade agreements to link into regional value chains. With the successful completion of the Singapore FTA, we will review progress in ongoing FTA negotiations with India, China and Thailand. A break into India and China market entry strategy are being prepared building on success stories from Sri Lankan enterprise in those markets.
The minister said the government's determination to pursue a liberal outward-oriented economy is more steadfast than ever and proposed to continue phasing out para-tariffs while reducing barriers of trade.
All HS codes with an import cess will be subject to a phasing out. In order to allow more time for industry adjustment, it is proposed that the para-tariff phase-out takes place over a 5-year period. I also propose an accelerated cess reduction program for intermediate goods that drive up costs in sectors such as the construction sector, tourism and manufacturing. These items will have cess phased out over a 3-year period. In this process, it is essential to support domestic industries that will face greater competition from imports. We will also ensure that 10% of all HS codes considered to be sensitive items will not be subject to a complete para-tariff phase-out. In order to make recommendations on implementing the Trade Adjustment Program, I propose to establish a Trade and Productivity Commission under the Ministry of Development, Strategies and International Trade. I propose to allocate rupees 500 million over 2 years for the implementation of the Trade Adjustment Program.
The minister also said that the backbone of a deep and liquid capital market is a robust security market and therefore Sri Lanka needs to develop capital markets beyond bank financing.
We will introduce scriptless Sri Lanka development bonds and enable coupon stripping of treasury bonds. We will also work with the CBSL to invest in the necessary infrastructure towards its end. While Sri Lanka achieved its best over FDI in 2017 and 2018, it is essential to further expand investments into the country. Therefore, an incentive package to attract high-value investment is proposed. This includes a significant capital allowance of up to 150% of investment value and removal of upfront taxes for investments over $50 million, $100 million and $1 billion. To support the local construction companies, no foreign construction company will be allowed to tender for government projects unless the project is fully foreign financed without forming a joint venture with a local construction or a consultancy company. This will support the local companies to benefit from the transfer of technology. The cost of construction will reduce with the proposed para-tariff revisions and the removal of NBT on the main construction contractor. In order to further support property development sector, I propose to grant residential visas for 3 years to foreign nationals who invest US $400,000 or more in condominiums. This process will be implemented this year. The residential visa will not be valid when the foreigner exists from this investment. Cess on imported construction material will be reduced by 30%.
The Finance Minister meanwhile said that government's strategy to create sustainable livelihoods will be expanded to achieve reconciliation through economic empowerment.
To fast-track development in the north and the east, we propose to establish the Palmyra Fund with an investment of rupees 5 billion spread over 2 years. We invite well-wishers, philanthropists, especially in the diaspora, to contribute to this fund, which will be administered by the Treasury. The funds will be routed through the government agents for the development activities on the war-affected areas. To facilitate more efficient trade links between farmers and the markets, 10 satellite economic centers connected to a central economic center will be established in the northern province. Communicating our reconciliation efforts in a stronger and more meaningful manner is critical for sustainability. I propose to allocate rupees 200 million to the SCRM for communication and awareness programs in this regard.